Good evening, and you're welcome to the voice of the voiceless. My name is Straight Talk Mystic Marlene of Straight Talk, and this program is anchored by Toyin Morafa, but today, unfortunately, she's not here, so I'm standing in for her. I hope today we're able to discuss the issues at hand, the matters at hand, and get it straight across to you. Today, I have on the platform a lady that has been doing so much to the community in this country. She's not originally from here, she's from Kenya, and she's an advocate for African against guns and knives, and also the founder of the Kenya and Friends in the Park. This lady has worked so much in the community trying to get teenagers off the crime. And who am I talking about? None other than Miss Lydia Tett Olet.
Thank you.
Your name is so gorgeous, Tett Olet. If I say Lydia Tett Olet, it's just like, let's call it Tett Olet. It's so musical. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
The show is, like I mentioned earlier on, Voice of the Voiceless.
Yeah.
And the topic for today is teenage crimes, how it's affecting our children. I know you have three teenage children, and I'm also a mother of a teenage boy. But the guns and knife crimes in this country, to me, is turned to an epidemic. So I'm standing in for Tony, but I hope we'll be able to really discuss this thing in a way that, it affects us and affects the mothers at hand.
Yeah.
So please, can you first, by yourself, introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Well, my name is Lydia Tett Olet, and I'm from Kenya. And I'm the founder of Kenya and Friends in the Park, and that's an event, and it's an annual event that brings Kenyans and friends together every year. And this year we're actually doing 2 days, because we normally do 1 day. But this year, because we're celebrating 5 years, so we're going to do it 2 days. So it's going to be on the 27th and on the 28th of July. Like you can see my t-shirt, 27th and 28th of July. And it's always a very peaceful event, because Kenyans...
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is the whole event all about?
Yeah, it's about investment. More so, it's about investment, because we are trying to encourage our Kenyans that this is not our country. This is not where we're going to be like forever. So, and if anything was to happen to you in this country, your first point of contact is the embassy. So we wanted people to have that relationship with the embassy, and as it's normally, sometimes it's very difficult, because you phone the embassy, of course they're busy, they have so other things to do, but as much as they are busy, we should be their first people of concern.
But is it just for Kenyans? Because I've had a friend of mine invite me to one of them, but she's not a Kenyan.
Yeah, that's why it's called Kenya and Friends.
Okay.
So we as Kenyans, as much as we are selling, we are appreciating our country, but we also want to sell and show the other community what Kenya is all about. Because to be honest, it's not just because I'm Kenyan, but Kenya is one of the loved countries in the whole world.
I'm not saying that because I'm a Nigerian, so I'm not getting you on that. Yeah, but you said one of.
Yeah, one of. So I didn't say, the best. I said one of the best.
Yes,
so
it's
top 10, I guess, Yeah, so and just going back to what we're talking about, knife crime, and it's saddening. It's so bad that last week I was actually in one of the boys that was actually killed by his own friends. He was stabbed, and the mom is Kenyan, and that is the only son she has, and some other children that either were not disciplined by whoever, parents or community or the government, as everybody claims and everybody blames them, took another life. And we also saw last week what happened with the 14-year-old.
Yeah, because before we get into the last week's issue, I've had a show here before. Like I said, my name is Mystique Marlene, but I have a show called Street Talk. And in that show, I've had a topic, gun and knife crime, who's to blame or who's to be blamed. And the guests I had in the show, one says the system, the other one says the parent. And now, with the weight, what do you think? Who do you think should actually be blamed in that?
Well, to be honest, there's a lot of passing blames with this knife and crime. There's a lot of, it's the parents, there's a lot of, it's the government, there's a lot of, it's the community. And most of the time, I hear it's the government. And to be honest, personally, if all these three parties are to be blamed, but number one, just what I see and what I think, and with all the teenagers that I've passed through my house or I've spoken to, because I've spoken to so many teenagers, and I've also spoken to parents, and being a parent myself, parents are to be blamed. They are the number one to be blamed.
That's what I thought too.
You can't sit there and blame the parent, blame the government, and blame the community. Parents are number one. That's my perception of this knife and crime. Because in Kenya we have a say that samaki mkunje akiwa mbichi. That means if you have a fish and you want to bend the fish, you have to bend this fish when it's fresh. Because when it's dry and you try to bend it, it breaks. Do you understand? So the government and the community is not with you when your child is 1 year old, when your child is 2, when your child is 3, 4, 5. The government is not there. And that is the time to install that discipline in that child. That's the time to lay a strong foundation for your child. We don't do that. I've seen parents, their children are 2 or 3 and they're beating their parents and they say, oh, it's cute. Or saying shut up to the mom and they say, oh, is it not cute? It is cute when it's 2 years old or 1 year old. That baby telling you shut up at that 1 year old and you think it's cute, that same baby, when they're 13, 14, they'll tell you shut up in front of everybody. Will you say it's cute then? No. You blame the government and say, oh, the government didn't let me discipline my child. What did you do when that child was 1 year or 2 years and saying all these things and you think it's cute because it's a little boy or a little girl? No. You can't tell me that.
But you know, another problem, I think, seeing what you just mentioned, in most of the communities, the way you said it now, I don't know about your community, would you actually publicly come out and blame the parents without getting attacked for it?
You will get attacked from parents right, left, and center. They will attack you because they don't want to take the blame. The reason why they will attack you is because they don't want to change. Instead of, okay, they're parents, okay, what do you think we should do as parents? I think that's where if we want to correct this, I think parents should come out and say, okay, fine, what do you think, or what should we do as parents to avoid this? Instead of when you say it's parents, all you get is attack, and blame. No, it's not true. Then this will never end, because if you're not ready to accept change, or you're not ready to accept correction, and you're not ready to learn something different, then this will never end, because we'll always do the same things that we're doing and blame the government. We'll always do the same things we're doing and blame the community. Do you understand? So as parents, I know parents will attack me. I know they'll say, oh, what you're talking about is rubbish. But it's not all parents, because there's some parents who think like me.
Yeah, because because like I say, I'm sorry, putting it straight now for African parents. Growing up in Africa, I knew how strict my parents were. And to us, it was discipline. It wasn't like abuse or anything. It was discipline. So now, if my parents can discipline me to be what I am or who I am today, I don't see the reason why I cannot lay out the same kind of discipline to my children, regardless where I am. You know. So, but I notice our black people now saying the system is a system. It's like you're now adapting to a culture that is not ours. You know, a culture that I don't know about Kenyan culture, but my culture, a woman. Not just a woman, a mother is responsible for how the child turns up. Some statement they say, okay, when the baby is good, is the daddy's; when the baby is bad, is the mommy's. But really, that for us, that's reality. If we have to face it, it's reality.
It's the same.
But now it keeps going down. Taking you back to what you just talked about last week, I opened up the newspaper and I saw there 14-year-old on a moped, or whatever they call it.
The moped.
The 5th victim this year. We're still in January, for crying out loud.
The 2nd week. And how many?
And we already have 5. So now, how do we even? Let me ask you. Where do we start? How do we start from there? And now,
we start with the parents. I always go back to the parents because charity begins at home.
I believe that. Yes,
charity begins at home. You cannot. I'll go back to the parents. I have teenage girls, and I told them, this house. Yes, we're in Britain, we're in the Queensland, but my house. Immediately you enter the house, that's a Kenyan house. We're in Kenya. And I had to tell this to my kids when they were born, since they were little. I kept on telling them. Right now, if you ask my kids, where are you from? My children will never say they're British. My children always say, we are Kenyans. Even though they were born here. But they are proud to say they're Kenyans. I've taught them our culture. I've taught them how it is in my country. You do not dare answer an elderly person.
Okay, I'll take you to that again. Because I walked into my office on Thursday, and my boss was listening to the BBC News. I won't call names.
Yes.
But a certain program was on, and this particular 14-year-old case was on. And he deliberated on me very well. But at the end, he said, in any case, there's no father figure. That upset me so badly. Although I didn't say nothing. I just walked out. Because you don't have to act personally. I think you don't have to have a father figure to be to have a decent life. You know. So what do you think about that?
It is very, very important to have both parents in the house. That's important, and as a Christian as well, going back to what the Bible says, the man will leave his house and will be united with his wife, and the two shall become one. And marriage is important for personally, and I believe that a father and a mother, a parents should be there for their children. But in saying that, I don't believe that the children who are in the streets killing each other, or rebellious children, that is because they're from the single parent. I am a single parent. I've raised my 3 children by myself, and of course with my God, and the father was never there. Their father was never there. So I can't say that because the father wasn't there, the children will be rebellious. I've seen children who have both parents are in the streets killing each other. I've seen children who only have one parent, and they're very good. So you can't come and say that it's because the father wasn't there. To me, that doesn't make sense. It's very important for the father to be there, don't get me wrong, very important. And if I can cry and beg and do whatever I can do for the father to be there, I can do that because I would like the father to be there. But if the father is not there, that doesn't make those children bad.
Yeah, that's the thing, because to me, I totally disagree with the father figure being the thing there.
Nah.
I totally disagree with that because, one, the way I put it, I see it, the mother, not just the mother, there's the mother that brings the child up, there's the teachers, there's the churches, there's your community, there's everybody together brings up a child. But like you said, charity begins at home. What the mother starts teaching you from the beginning, that's how you, and then it's not just what you're taught. The behavior of the mother, the behavior of the person at home
counts a lot.
That's if you're not how do I put it, a role model to your children, then they turn out to be same way you are, then there's problems. But with this particular stabbing and killing and shooting, and the way this 14-year-old, whom I don't know how he could get a moped, is it what you call it?
A moped.
A moped, whatever they call it. A motorbike, if you don't know what it is this tiny motorbike, speed motorbike that they use, a 14-year-old, and I don't know if they need a license to ride such a thing or not. And a mother does not know how this child came in possession with that. And you now will come out and blame the system.
Personally, going back to the moped thing, I don't think it's a bad thing for a child to have a moped. I wouldn't say, personally, that's just my view. And
they don't have age limit for that, no?
I don't know if they have age limit.
They should, 14 years old. My son,
being in the moped,
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine.
I have a 17-year-old teenage son. myself, no, that's even too far. When my then 19-year-old foster son came to me and said, the same moped, I want to get a moped. I said, where would you get that? Where would you ride that from? Where would you be parking that? I didn't go into asking where will you get the money yet, because I know it's never going to happen. So, and this is a 19-year-old. And my 17-year-old has a curfew. If you come to my house after 10 p.m., you have to tell me where you're coming from, or you go back to where you're coming from. So now, telling me when my 14-year-old son, maybe they say I'm a very protective mother, my 14-year-old son, when he was 13 going on 14, came into America to continue his education here. I will see him off to the bus stop. He will get on the bus, go to school, secondary school. I will watch him go. Sometimes, maybe I'm stupid, he will not call me anything. Sometimes I'll get on that bus and follow him. Once he gets off and gets into the school, I'll turn back. Simply because I monitor every single movement of my children. I know where you're going, I know where you're coming, I know the friends you're keeping. A 14-year-old to come back with a motorbike. Explain I don't know what you have to.
I don't think, for me personally, whether he was in a motorbike or not, for me that's not the point of anything. He can be in the motorbike, he can be, if it's of his age, or whatever he's doing, even if he was in the moped, and it's not his age to be in the moped. I think that has nothing to do with him being killed. I don't think we should even mention the moped on that 14-year-old. I think that is just so irrelevant. Personally, I think so. But what you just going back to what you said about children having things, is sometimes a child comes home with maybe expensive trainers. I've seen that, expensive trainers, expensive clothes, or sometimes money, and parents don't even ask, where did you get this from? Because for me, even if it's £1, if I see my daughter with £1, I'll ask you, where did you get that £1 from? You have to explain to me, where did you get the money from? Because that's how it starts, with somebody maybe giving them £1 in the streets. Tomorrow is 5, 10, 100. Come on. Everybody loves to have money. The children will say, oh, my mom can't give me £5, but somebody else in the streets can give me £10. And even if I go home with this money, mommy doesn't ask me where I got it from. Understand? And then some will say, oh, so-and-so gave it to me. Oh, okay, let's fund that so-and-so. Understand? The same way you are following your children in school, I didn't follow my children, because every parent have the way they raise their children, which works for them. But money, if my child have money, I will fund that person that you told me, I don't know who gave it to me. I'll fund the person, and if it's a child, I want to speak to the parent and ask, oh, sorry, your child gave my daughter £5. Where did your child get the money from? And I've had some parents who are like, why are you asking that? You know, I've had parents who just fight, and I'm thinking, why are you doing this? So if you fight, your child will be bringing money in your house, expensive trainers, clothes, because they all want to have this image. Everybody's obsessed with package. It's the package has to look nice. What's inside? Rotten. But it's just the package. But for you as a parent, you should ask your children, where did you get this money from? And ask also from when they are little. Like I said, the government is not with you when your child is 1.
That's true.
You should start telling them from day 1, do not take money, do not take anything from anybody out there. My children know that, even though, because in an African setting, we all call everybody auntie and uncle. But as much as they call everybody auntie and uncle, I have to tell them who is their real uncle.
Relation,
You understand? And like now, I only have my sister in this country. So I've told them the only person you can take money from is my sister and the husband. That's it. And even taking money from them, you do not ask them for money. If they offer you, you take it. That's how I've trained my children. Because if I allow them to take money out from people, and then when I can't afford it, they'll say, well, they'll take it from out there. So they know that when mommy has, she gives. When she doesn't have, we don't have. There are some Christmas, I did not even buy presents for my children, and nobody can believe this. And my children say, Mommy, it's okay, because we know that when you have, you give us. Christmas will pass with an empty Christmas tree, not even £1 present. But they appreciate.
Is the way you brought them up.
You know? But if Some children, there's no, mommy, why I want it. A child starts crying in asdas. That's how it starts. Children are smart. You see a 2-year-old crying, I want. They fall on the floor and then the parent give. My friend, that's the beginning of trouble.
Well, you've been listening to us, you've been watching us, and I hope so far we've been able to relate to this knife and gum crimes. That's not just the only crime in the UK in regards to children, in regards to teenagers. I use the word teenagers because a lot of them are just wasting just like that. And hopefully, and I say it hopefully, the system will correct things. In as much as we're blaming the system, most of us are blaming the system. And if they think it's the system, hopefully the system will correct some issues, which I don't think is the system anyways.
The system will not correct anything.
And then because the government is not even helping, always.
Parents.
And all we see is that, all we hear is what is published.
Yeah.
Or what is that, there's more that are done without being noticed. And all that.
A lot.
And then in your community, do you have like a certain group that actually sits and talk with teenagers or talk with mothers that are affected in these crimes? Like you say, you just buried one of the boys, in a community and all that. So was it how, I've not been to, surprisingly I haven't been to any, and I pray I don't, because I'm very emotional about it. So I don't know, do you have people helping the community and the parents and the mothers involved in this?
We don't, and I think you just came up with something that is very, very important. And I don't know if they have that in Nigerian community, but I don't think they have even in any community, forget Kenyan community. I don't think it's something that they have. But now that you spoke about it, it's because in Africa, when we have problems, they always call the elders. And the elders sit down and they say this, and nobody argues with them. Because we tend to believe that they have more wisdom than we have. And I think what you just mentioned is very important. I think what we should do as a community, and I know that there's a community called Southeast. It's called Southeast Kenyans. They've come together as a Southeast community, and they are trying to do what you just said, like to bring youths together, parents, talk to parents and everything. But even if we have groups like that set up, that's very important, and I think we should now look into that. We should start creating awareness into that. Guys, we are on our own. The government is not helping us. It's not going to help us. It's getting worse because they're still bringing all these rules and regulations about how you should train your children, how you should deal with your children. They're not going to help, even though they're seeing all these killings. So we are on our own. So like you said, what you just said now is very important, that we should have all these communities having their own, like Kenyan community here, Nigerian community, Mali community, Uganda community. We have these things that, like elders, and we can sit and discuss. But it's not just about sitting and discussing. It's about parents listening. It's about parents actually taking it in and saying, yes, the problem is from the house. Charity begins at home. We should stop blaming the government. We should stop blaming the community. And if we are blaming them, nothing will ever change. We should now start taking responsibility in our home. One day I was even saying we should have vigilante, Have a vigilante. Go in UK. I know we'll get in trouble if we have that. That will never happen.
Because the vigilantes someday will be armed.
Yes.
And then if you upset my brother will upset my sister. And then let's see how it was a vigilante thing.
That's the thing again with African community.
So, yes, we can't. I don't think this country will approve of that.
No, definitely. But
something has to be done.
We having groups like what you just said that can really help. But for me, going back again, is the parents. I keep on saying, stop blaming the government. Okay, you're blaming the government. For your child has been killed, you're blaming the government. Your child has killed someone else. You're still there blaming the government.
Because when this happens, it's two families that are suffering, not just one. And
not just one. Because as a mom, somebody knocks your door, police knocks your door and say your son has killed someone. And your son has killed them. They come home like nothing has happened. They come home, you still cook for them, you've eaten with them, you're talking to them. And then 2 days later, you see it on the news, a child has been killed. You're even there crying for that child, and it's your own child that killed that child. How would you feel? So you've lost because your child will end up in prison. You feel like a failure because now nobody even wants to associate themselves with you anymore, because now they will deem you like, or that mother who the child killed someone. That's how they'll now start calling you in the community. You'll have to move out because now you'll be a target for other people because they want to come and harm your family. You understand? Or the police knocks your door and say your child just went to buy milk. I've had so many of that.
And he didn't come back.
He didn't come back because he was killed by someone else. Why? How does this happen? And then you sit there and blame the government. The government was not there with your child when the child was born. If we have a strong foundation, and I know with Christians, I'm a Christian myself, and I know with Christians they always say, oh, bring up your child in the Bible way, so they'll not depart from it. Fair enough. It's good to do that. But what if you're not a Christian? Should your child go astray because they don't know about the Bible? I don't think so. I think you should still have that discipline from when they are young. That's when discipline starts. You cannot start disciplining a child at year 6 or 7, 6 years old or 7 years old.
But you know, this is not just a Christian thing. Religiously, whether Christian, Muslims, or Buddhists and all that, we are all supposed to be from one God. So the discipline starts from home, from the inside, so it's just not because I know some Muslims family also crying out for the same thing. Before we used to say, oh, terrorist is this, terrorist is that, but it's not. If you check it, it's not a religious thing anymore.
No, it's not.
It's just an individual thing. And then kids that are, this word, we haven't used the word that is very crucial. Gang. And I always hear it. I won't actually, I don't like naming names. When things like this happens, and I call some teenagers around me and say, this happened, they say, oh, Mom, they're in a gang. And how can your child be in a gang? A mother, and you don't know. You bring, like you said, bring different kind of expensive things back home, or some of them bring guns and knives back home, and then you don't know about it until it happens.
It's in their room. Because they lock the room and say, I'm now 16, 17, Mommy, you have to knock. I told my daughter, as long as you're living under my roof, even if you're 30, don't ever put a lock and tell me it's my room, because that's my house. And I go to my daughter's room anytime I want, and if I find something that is not supposed to be in my house, I'll put it on the table and wait for her and say, what is this? Do you understand? So I think parents should take that power back. Take that power out from the government. Take it from the community. Take that power back. The power belongs to you. That's your child. That's your child. And there's also one thing that you actually mentioned, lifestyle.
Yes.
Now, I'm talking now about a mom, okay? We also have very good single parent dads out there. I've seen where moms have died, or I've seen where moms have died, passed away, and they've left a father figure. And I've seen fathers, single fathers, raising their children by themselves. And these children are well disciplined, and they have manners. So there's also fathers out there who also should be given glory because they've done so well with their children. And the one thing I'll say as a single parent, whether it's a man or a woman, lifestyle. If you're a woman, for instance, your children see you always drunk. Your children see you always smoking weed and you're high on weed. Your children see you're forever smoking cigarettes. And your children see you bringing different men in the house. Today is Tom, tomorrow is James, the other day is I don't know who else or whoever. Your children see you're always partying. Your children will do the same. You understand? And I'm not saying in all situations children follow, but 90% you are your child's role model. They will do exactly what mommy or daddy is doing. Your daddy bringing different women in the house every time, and the kids can see this. Daddy's always drunk. Daddy's always high on one drug or the other. Daddy always bring different friends, and they're partying every Saturday or every Sunday or every other day. Daddy doesn't go to work. Mommy doesn't go to work because she's tired, because she slept late, she drank, she did this. Your lifestyle matters a lot. And I'm not saying as a single parent don't have fun. You can, but you need to know that I have children who are looking at what I'm doing. You know, your lifestyle should be a one that if somebody knocks your door and say, oh, your mom did this, your children will swear that my mom will never do that. But you did it. But because you do it so well.
Yes.
Your children
Yes.
will say, my mom will never do such a thing.
Yeah.
It's because they've never seen you do such a thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, they follow you.
Yeah.
You know, my daughters, my children, they follow my footsteps. Every time they say, no, but my mom doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Mama, some of them I do, but you know, they'll never know that mommy does
Well,
that.
I hope
So lifestyle is very important.
Yes.
And if you're always bringing, if you're a parent who only believes in expensive things, and then you don't have. So if you believe in
your coat according to your size.
Exactly, according to your size.
Yes.
So if you're always buying your child expensive things, and then the time that you cannot afford, they will want to get that.
That's
Do you understand? So
that's true.
I think there should always be a balance. If you and also the other thing as well that I've realized with a lot of our community, and I've seen that a lot, is when parents there's a stepdad in the house. I've seen that a lot, affecting black boys especially, because they've seen their mom single, and then now all of a sudden you brought this man, and this is your dad.
That actually will be a subject we have to touch some other time, because it's a very crucial subject relating to abuse and all that.
Yeah.
So we'll take that. We'll mention that. I hope you don't mind if we invite you again to the show.
Oh no, I don't mind, because
because Tony would really love to talk to you on that issue.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, so because we're actually rounding up, but before you go, you've talked a lot about moms and parental and all that. I want you to just look out there in the camera and advise the youths out there. Just advise the youths on what you sincerely think a way out to this epidemic called guns and knives.
Well, first to the parents, I'm just here advocating for the parents. I feel your pain so much so if your child has been killed with any of the violence that's happening, and also if your child was the one that caused pain in the other family's home. With both parents lose something. And what I can say is, from when your child is born, and especially this probably will help parents who have not had children yet, but when your child is born, that child is in your power. Do not allow anybody to train your child for you outside. Do not allow the government to take the power from you. Do not allow the community to take the power from you. You have the power over that child. And the only way you can install this discipline in a child is when that child is young. You see, when children are born, when they're little, when you put them down, they cry. When you hold them, they stop crying because they know. So a child is smart. You can't say, I'll wait when this child is 5 or 6 to say these things to them. You need to say it to them from when they're young. So when it comes to all this violence and all these black children killing themselves, I know we have 3 people to blame: the parents, the government, and the community. But my number 1 is the parents. So parents, you need to take that power back and train your children. And to the youths out there, first of all, you're causing so much pain into a family. Just think that boy you're going to stab, somebody have stabbed your own dad. Think of that person you're going to stab, somebody have stabbed your own mom. That child you're going to stab, somebody have stabbed your own sister or your own brother that you love so much. What pain! How would you feel if you came home one day and your dad have been stabbed, your mom or your siblings? The pain you feel is the same pain that other family, you're causing that other family. So before you take a knife and you want to go and stab someone, think, you'll not even have that life because you're going to go to jail. That's where you're going to end up, and you rot in jail. Is that the life you want? There's so many things to be done out here. There's so many things. This is a very big community. If you feel like your parents are not listening to you, or you want to talk to someone, do not get yourself involved with the gang. Gangs, they are not your family. I know they always say we are family, we family. They are not your family, because your family will not hold you ransom. Gangs will hold you ransom. The day you say, I want out, they will kill you. The day you say, no, I can't do this job that you want me to do, they will kill you. And if you're not careful, they'll ask you to kill your own family, just for them to know that you're in. Would you do that? Would you kill your own mom, your own dad, your own sibling, your own brother or sister? Think twice before you take that knife. Think twice before you kill somebody else. So the youth out there, this is what they're expecting so much so in the black community. This is what they expect from us as black people, that, oh, they'll kill themselves. That's why the government is not so much bothered about us. We need to take that power back as Black community and start working towards healing. We need to heal. This Black community is in pain. We need to heal. And in order for us to start healing, you need to put that knife down. You need to put that gun down. And from there, we'll start the journey of healing. So thank you.
You've heard it. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. You've heard it from Miss Lydia Tett Olet, the advocate for African against crimes and guns. And you've heard it from myself, Mystic Marlene. The topic, like we said, is teenage crimes, how it's affecting our youths, our teenagers, our young kids. Because now 14 is a teenager in this country. 13 is a teenager, and we're losing them dearly to knives and gun crimes. I'm standing in for Toyin, and the show, like you know, is Voice of the Voiceless. I hope we're able to make it across to you today, and I hope we have become the voice to you, the voiceless. On this note, I say good night.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.